Yeah, it got weird because we had John on the last episode, so I don't know what the order is.
Damn it, John. Why you always gotta mess stuff up, John?
Welcome to the Good Games Podcast. My name is James.
I'm Leo.
And this is a special episode because, first of all, this is our first episode of the new year, 2019.
2019.
But also, it's our 20th episode. We've done this.
Oh, yeah.
We've done this 20 times now. You'd think we'd be good at it.
Nope.
Yeah, no. Also, I've had several comments that I got some feedback from fans of the show.
Right.
And the feedback I received is, why are we not calling this Good Games with Leo and James?
Oh, that's a great rhyme and everything.
Yeah.
Good Games.
I don't know,
with Leo
maybe
and James.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, that's got a nice ring to it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Maybe it should be 2019. New year, new us.
Yes, so that's something to keep in mind this year.
Okay.
Maybe we'll...
Welcome to Good Games with Leo and James.
I'm James. You mess me up because I always do the thing.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, that's funny.
All right, so today we're talking about, our top 5 is going to be the top 5 games that we are excited about in the year 2019 that are coming out this year, hopefully. And we're also going to be talking about Kingdom Hearts because that is coming out in just a couple weeks. That is the first, high-profile release of 2019, I would say.
Yeah, totally.
Are you excited about Kingdom Hearts? What's going on?
Are we talking about the upcoming one, or are we already on the topic of the original?
Yeah, either or, whatever.
In general, Kingdom Hearts excites me, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yes.
So before we talk about Kingdom Hearts 1, I actually got a chance to play Kingdom Hearts 3 last week.
What?
Yeah. I live in Florida, as you know. I went down we were in Disney Springs, which is it used to be called Downtown Disney. It's like a Disney, shopping area. It's not really part of the theme park, but it's, I don't know.
Yeah. I
don't know what it is. It's basically just a Disney shopping area with lots of restaurants. You can hang out, get some food, do shopping, whatever.
Right.
They had a pop-up store there that was just a preview for Kingdom Hearts 3, so you could get in line and play the demo build of Kingdom Hearts 3, which we did. It was, cool.
Yeah.
As
expected, I guess.
I mean, it was fine, but here's the thing. It felt like more Kingdom Hearts.
Right.
You could have told me this was just this is a new expansion to Kingdom Hearts 2 that has never been released before, and I would have believed you. It doesn't feel substantially different. The combat kind of feels the same. Right. I mean, there's a little nudge up in graphical power, right? Because the last one was on the PS2, I guess.
I think the first two were only on PS2, right?
Yeah. But
I mean, Kingdom Hearts is not something that I feel like you can play a demo and then be really excited about what that game is about. It's to me, it's about the story and the world and what it has to offer outside of a demo. But
can you tell me a little bit about the story and the world?
Okay, I was thinking about that. Here's the thing with Kingdom Hearts. I'm a fan. I'll be honest. I am a fan of the Kingdom Hearts series. I'm not a super duper diehard fan. I have some friends who are, but it's really weird. It's a really weird game.
Yeah.
And it's kind of confusing. The world. Okay, so basically, it's like Disney meets Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
And everywhere that you know of in either of those spaces are worlds, and they have keyholes, and there's 2 Keyblade bearers, and there's I don't know. It's
you already sound like you know more. I didn't even know there was 2 Keyblade bearers.
Yeah, dude, Mickey Mouse, bro.
Oh, that's right, Mickey Mouse.
Yeah,
Because I was just thinking of Sora or whatever.
Mickey and Sora, man, they're like the dynamic duo right there.
Yeah, yeah. I have no idea what's going on in the story to this game, to Kingdom Hearts 1 or 2 or
Yeah.
any of. I don't. I
It's
can't.
super complicated. It really is.
But yeah,
Unnecessarily so.
you kind of nailed it. It's like the entire franchise of Disney, like not just Mickey Mouse, but I
Yeah.
mean, all of every single like Disney property. So, I mean, the original was what? They had like Aladdin and Tarzan and Winnie the Pooh
Mhm.
and I'm trying to think.
Alice in Wonderland.
Yep, that's right.
Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yep,
Peter Pan.
Yep. So it's like a little bit of Disney and then just like a little bit of Final Fantasy. So like there's a couple, I think like Eris and Yuffie and Squall,
Yeah,
except
my
Squall's,
homeboy Squall's up in there.
except Squall's not called Squall for some reason, right?
Okay,
He's like going by.
okay, his name is Squall Leonhart, so he goes
Uh-huh.
by Leon in the game.
Uh-huh.
But that's totally acceptable because his name is Squall Leonhart.
Yeah, but why is he Leon now?
He's incognito, bro.
Because
you listen. You can't
Yeah.
can't try to
Yeah.
rationalize this because it
Okay,
doesn't make
right.
any goddamn sense anyway. Like,
Right,
why
okay.
would Squall or Cloud Eris, like, why are any of them there? That they never explain that, and it bothers the hell out of me. But
Yeah, I think that's my mistake is trying to rationalize this.
yeah, don't
because
try to
it's
rationalize it.
it's the entire franchise of Disney and the entire franchise of Final Fantasy, which Final Fantasy now spans 15 mainline games and countless spin-offs.
Mm-hmm.
So there's just a bunch of different worlds colliding, and it's
And that's what it's
I
like
don't
when
know.
worlds collide.
Yeah, oh, God, and I would describe it as being like very anime. Also,
Yeah, for sure.
yeah.
Yeah, it's strangely like it's weird because like the animation style and just like the way it flows. Yeah, it's very anime.
Mhm.
Like long panning camera pans that kind of go from like one side of the character to the other, and they just stand there. And it makes
Mhm.
it. That's why to me it feels very weird for a video game. It's like very awkward the cutscenes and stuff in that way.
This is like got to be one of the most bizarre crossover
Yeah.
because I remember like last year when they announced Mario Cross Rabbids, it was kind of like what? But like this has got to be like one of the all-time like Disney cross Final Fantasy. Like what?
It's just a weird. I don't know how. I want to know how they even came up with this idea. Like,
Exactly. Yeah. Like, who pitched this? Does Disney? Were there like Disney fans that were fans of like Square games and like pitched it to Square, or was it the other way around? Was like
I think that's my
Tetsuya
biggest problem with
Nomura,
this
like
game.
a big Disney fan, and like, how
Right.
did this get off the ground? I would love to see those initial meetings.
I think this is what bothers me about this game. I'm overall just a fan just because of the sheer amount of like I mean the combat is kind of fun and we'll probably talk about that. And the like the flow of the story, as confusing as it is, it's just kind of cool being able to go to these different worlds and stuff. So I enjoy that.
Mhm.
But the part that like it's really a core of the game that just always bothered me is like on its own. If you gave me a story about a character that had to go to all the different Disney worlds and help the Disney characters seal the doors from the darkness and help Mickey and everything, that's a great. That sounds like a great Disney game. Why is there Final Fantasy characters? It doesn't. Why are they there? I'm not like full on complaining because it's cool to see my homeboy Squall, my favorite dude, and he's obviously a more important character in the game than Cloud. That's why they gave him a lot more screen time. But because he's just the better Final Fantasy, But aside from that, it's like, why are they there? It's and then they never really talk about it that I recall.
Yeah, it's a real strange mix of games.
Yeah.
Now, did you? I'm going to go ahead and confess to never having finished either of the two existing games right now. I guess there's tons of Kingdom Hearts spin-offs.
Right.
I never finished the first game. I think I got as far as like the 100 Acre Wood, which is like the Winnie the Pooh world.
Oh, right.
And I just couldn't anymore. I just
really
couldn't.
Okay.
Because I had a realization just sitting on the couch, like, what am I doing? Like, because I'm like a weird anime character and I'm talking to like Winnie the Pooh and Tigger
Yeah.
which like are characters I haven't like interfaced with, or thought about since I was like 4 years old.
Yeah.
And also it's this weird anime garbage. I mean, I don't. Yeah, that was as far as I got in the first one. Tell you what I like. My favorite thing about Kingdom Hearts, though.
Mm-hmm.
Can I tell you my favorite thing about Kingdom Hearts? Sure. And this is what I'm most excited about in Kingdom Hearts 3 coming this year. Gummy Ship.
Oh yeah, I bet you would like that. Yeah, yeah.
I am all about Gummy Ship.
Tell us about Gummy Ship.
So Gummy Ship in Kingdom Hearts is a mini game. I think like the in-game premise is like Sora and his Disney friends and his Final Fantasy friends, I don't know, whatever, have to travel from one Disney world to another Disney world. And the way they do that is in the spaceship called the Gummy Ship. But I can't remember what the premise is, that they have to build the ship themselves out of these things called like gummy pieces. But basically it's you have a decently robust 3D model editor where you can piece together all these different parts to make a ship. And then once you make your ship, you are then doing like a kind of a shoot 'em up, almost like a bullet hell thing, but it's really more of a shoot 'em up where you take the ship.
It kind of plays like Star Fox.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And the ships, like depending on how you build your ship, it'll have different stats. I seem to remember like you can, like the more big gummy pieces you put on, you have like more HP, and then there are like different pieces you can unlock by doing the stages particularly well. So you can have like, you know, a gun that shoots multiple bullets at once instead of a single bullet or whatever, and you can keep upgrading your gummy ship. That is the most fun I had in Kingdom Hearts by a long shot, because also I got like, oh man, I'm getting really good at like min-maxing the gummy ship. So then I'm like, you know what? Let me make this.
There's a whole strategy to it, right?
Let me make this even more fun. And then I just started recreating ships, like iconic ships from Star Wars. So I'm like, let me make a gummy X-Wing, a gummy TIE Fighter, a gummy Millennium Falcon. Like,
wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had a whole lot of fun with gummy ships.
Well, I mean, I won't say that I enjoyed it as much as you, but I thought it was an good part of the game that give you a break from the normal sort of adventure-y
It's
part.
good. It's good to break up the pace of the game with that. Yeah.
Right. I would not be surprised, James, that if like we find out in Kingdom Hearts 3 they just pretty much nixed that part completely.
Fuck that hard. I will snap that. Well,
I hope they don't, for your sake. I hope they don't.
No. I want to see, because I think the gummy ship is still a thing in Kingdom Hearts 3, because I think in some of the early promotional material there's been like 1 or 2 seconds of footage from gummy ship, and I want to see because God, what's it been since the last game? At least 10 years, probably close to 15, maybe, right? Maybe. I want to see how we've progressed in gummy game design, in gummy technology in the last 10 years.
Right.
Yeah. No, I'm stoked I'm stoked for Gummy Ship. I mean, Sora and Goofy and Donald, whatever, but like, give me Gummy Ship all day.
Okay. Yeah. And then to answer your previous question, I did. This is actually one of the few games that I have completely beaten.
Okay.
The original. 2, I don't even remember. So
right. Yeah.
Which is unfortunate, because I think 1 kind of left at a cliffhanger. And I remember playing 2. I just don't remember ever really feeling that feeling of resolution.
Yeah.
Remembering like what the story, how like having it resolved. I do remember some worlds into like the Tron world and stuff.
Yeah, like I've talked to a bunch of Kingdom Hearts fan. Like my wife is a massive Kingdom Hearts fan. I'm like, okay, so what do I need to know? Like going into the third one, like what happened in the first game? What happened in the second game? And she's like, yeah, no one really knows. I'm like, oh, okay. And like my wife is
not
like,
true.
Yes, it is. My wife is like the hardest hardcore, like hangs out on the Kingdom Hearts forums, discusses the lore and story with other people. Like she is into this, like all the way in the deep end. And for her to tell me no one knows what's going on with the story, I'm like, okay, cool. But that kind of makes me feel better going into the third game, that even the hardest of hardcore fans have no idea what's going on.
That is totally untrue.
Okay.
That is false.
Okay.
Now, let me say
yeah.
something. Let me explain. Okay. First of all, yes, no one recalls what's going on after 1.
No.
I
It's not that
understand
no one recalls. Everyone remembers what happened. They can't explain it. Like, no one can explain the bizarre, up its own ass lore of Kingdom Hearts.
I can explain
Okay.
1 at
Oh,
least.
here we go.
Okay.
We've got the
All right.
Rosetta Stone of Disney Final Fantasy. Here we go. Lay it on me. What's happening in this game?
Remember, I don't know why Final Fantasy is involved.
Sure, whatever.
Aside from that,
Yeah.
in this mythos
Yep.
of Kingdom Hearts, there are various worlds that comprise basically, the Disney universe.
Yep.
They can be seen in the sky as stars. And all those, like, stars, there's also stars, but like some of those stars, are actually worlds, they're just bright or whatever.
Yep.
So you can look up and see, the worlds. And basically, you are in such a world. Sora, the main character, is in his world with his friends, and suddenly these little creatures show up, and they're called the Darkness, I guess, and they attack his world, and it like breaks apart, and he like gets separated from his friends, and it turns out that this darkness is going around eating all the worlds, and Mickey notices this because the stars in the sky basically are like going out. They're like popping out, and like, they're disappearing.
Okay.
So that's how he sees it. They're turning dark. And so then he goes on an adventure without telling his cast and crew to go figure out why the stars are going out. Meanwhile, what their name? Donald Duck and Goofy are what?
No, you're just your pronunciation trying to remember. I thought you were gonna try it because like Donald Duck is a duck. I thought you were gonna say Goofy Dog,
Goofy Dog,
Goofy Dog, and Donald Duck.
Yeah, basically. They are basically, they go out to try and find Mickey to help him out, and Mickey leaves them a note that says to look for like a key bearer, because I think Mickey somehow knows that there's another guy who has a key, and they bump into Sora, who winds up in the world full of Final Fantasy characters for some reason, and they basically just go around trying to use the Keyblade to shut the keyholes that the darkness are using to flow into these worlds to eat them alive or whatever, and that's basically the whole game.
Okay. Cool. I somehow have a feeling you left out most of it, but that's a good succinct, that's a good baseline for a conversation. That's a good starting point. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think that part is mostly understandable. Like, suspension of belief, I guess, but it all makes sense. And then at the end, it just gets really freaking weird. Like,
right.
It turns out
that's what I was referencing, that no one knows what's going on.
There's a bad guy who's really behind the darkness,
right?
And then he ends up trying to steal one of the good guys to the darkness, but the good guy like overcomes it,
right,
and helps them close the final door. But then he disappears on the other side with Mickey, and then
spoilers for Kingdom Hearts, by the way, I guess.
Oh, well, come on. We spoil all the games.
Yeah. Well, the third one's about to come out, so you better catch up on the story anyway.
Yeah, really. You can't play a third one. That. I do not remember what happens in the second one.
Sure.
But that is what happens in the first one. And it just gets confusing because there's a lot of characters, and there's a lot of characters that move back and forth, like to and from the line of like good guy, bad guy or whatever. Mm-hmm. So it just gets a little confusing in that aspect at the end. But
so let's dive a little deeper. Let's get the hell away from the story, because I don't.
Yeah, just cut all of that. We'll just nix that whole part.
All right, we'll nix the. Welcome to the Good Games Podcast. My name is James,
and I'm Leo. Today we're going to talk about Kingdom Hearts,
and we're not going to talk about the story because we don't know what the
just
story is.
Just go back to where you said nobody understands what the story is, and then just like go with that. No one understands.
Perfect. Yeah. All right. You did a pretty good job. But yeah, let's actually try to dive in. What did you think of the combat system in this game?
Okay, so at the time when it was first became a thing, I was really entertained by the combat system. It was not typical to me. I was an RPG player. I played lots of Final Fantasies, but then in this world it kind of fit that, like, it's a more fluid combat. I guess there are other games that did some stuff similar, but it was the first game that I remember playing that kind of did it in the 3D like space that the PS2 was able to give us gamers. However, going back and playing it a little bit recently, I don't think it aged very well. Like,
oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, in principle, there's other games that do that now, but I just feel like they do it better. I don't know if it's like the camera controls that feel weird, or I don't know. I just felt like it felt clunky.
Okay.
Like trying to control my character, trying to get him to lock on the right little enemy creature, or to face the right enemy, because these enemies are basically fluid 3D space, and you can lock on sort of like a Zelda, or if you've played the most recent Final Fantasy, and you can run around, but then you can lock on to a specific creature and just kind of action hit, like kind of hack and slash it. But then you can also have a menu to use items and stuff, and that's the part that was kind of clunky.
Does this game, is it just me, or did you end up like mashing your way? Because that's what I was doing. Like I would lock onto an enemy, like mash a whole bunch, like maybe occasionally hit the dodge button, or like sometimes like they would there would be like a weird QTE you would have to do, like you'd hit it enough times and that would be like press triangle to use the super duper Disney fireworks or whatever. I have no idea. And then you would just press that to do whatever the attack was. But like I never really I was just kind of autopiloting through literally every single fight in Kingdom Hearts, which kind of like like is there like some sort of like strategic depth or technical mastery or something that I'm missing out on, or is this just kind of like, I mean, don't worry about it, we just made a simple battle system and try not to think too much about it?
I think that's basically it. Like it caters to young gamers and stuff too, because obviously it's Disney, and you got to make sure you target your audience. But at the same time, the one reason to use like the updated abilities or like the little summons or whatever, to me, was just because those little darkness creatures were so hard to kill. Like they took so many hits,
right?
Like they weren't difficult. They just you whacked on them for like a minute straight, and then they were still alive, and it's like, dude, I get it. Like, so that's the only reason I felt like I needed the stronger moves or whatever, was just to stop slashing. But for the most part, I just kind of ran around hitting the buttons and not really thinking too much.
My last comment on Kingdom Hearts is it sounds real nice. The music is very good. Yoko Shimomura, who is a video game music legend, did really good remixes of a lot of Disney themes and a lot of also very good original music. Traverse Town comes to mind, which is a very nice, relaxing theme.
It's a nice, tranquil space to come back to.
Yep. And then I can't remember the name of there's another artist who did a bunch of like I don't know, Japanese pop, not really pop music, but I don't know, for the beginning and like the main theme of the song. You know what I'm talking about. I can't remember her name, but like the opening cinematic.
Oh,
like that music.
Yeah, that's a beautiful song.
Anything else on Kingdom Hearts?
Go play it.
Because the third one's coming out, and maybe you can be the only one who can make sense of what's happening in that game.
I kind of want to go back and play the second one now, just to remember more about it and get ready for a third one. I might have some other opinions.
You got 2 weeks.
Well, I mean, I'm not necessarily going to get the third one like right away.
Oh, gotcha.
I'm going to want to play through 2 first, probably.
Gotcha. All right. Well, with that being said, let's move on to our top 5 most anticipated games of 2019. These are the games we're most excited for this year, and
I'm very excited for all of these games.
My number 5 game for the one I am. God damn it! Words are not coming easy tonight. All right, take 2. Here we go. My number 5 game that I'm looking forward to in 2019 is Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice by From Software. I am very interested in that game. That's
Because you're a Dark Souls fan.
I am a Dark Souls fan. FromSoft and Miyazaki have the clout with me that I will buy sight unseen anything that Miyazaki or FromSoft works on, and that looks almost a little bit more up your alley, Leo. It's a little more. No. Well, compared to like Dark Souls or Bloodborne, this is a little more.
Probably, yeah.
Ninjas and hook shots and.
It's just a little like over the top for me, It's like
a little over the top. I thought you always love over the top.
No, I like the more realistic stuff.
Get the fuck out of here! You put your number one game as Deadliest Warrior for the last 3 top 5s.
Yeah, but when it comes to like samurai games, like I don't know, I have a hard time playing like any of the Samurai Warrior games or like. What's some, just like over the top samurai games, they bother me, or like ninja games. Like this is kind of too silly for me. I don't know. I love samurai so much that I want an accurate representation of them, and so if you add a bunch of magic abilities or whatever, it's like that's not what I want. We're gonna talk about the samurai game of the year. It's not that one. It's different.
Oh, I think I know what's on your top 5. Well, yeah. Anyway, I'm looking forward to Sekiro. Give me more FromSoft, give me more Dark Souls. What's your number 5?
I forgot the name to my number 5.
Wow, you came prepared to this episode.
I'm trying to remember the name right now. I'm drawing a blank.
Oh boy.
What?
You want to tell me what it's about?
Death Stranding.
Oh yeah.
My number 5 is Death Stranding. Well, here's the reason. Game. It's easily forgettable to me because it's like I'm excited to figure out what the hell this game is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't. That hasn't been confirmed. We don't know for sure that's coming out in 2019 because that game's been in. Probably, you're right. Probably, but yeah, I'm right there with you. I want to know what the hell this is.
Yeah, right. And to be fair, I think several of my games might not be confirmed for 2019 yet, but I'm hoping, fine. I'm excited for them to hopefully be released this year.
Sure.
So Death Stranding, we've been getting a lot of footage about it, in recent conventions and stuff. So, it's highly hoped for that it comes out this year. The game looks super weird and super interesting, and mostly it's on my list because it's the one I'm like just one of the games I'm most curious about. Like, what is this?
Yeah. So. Can I tell you I am very interested to play Death Stranding. I'm curious. Uh-huh. Can I tell you I'm a little annoyed with every single new preview we see of that game? Because like the previews are like 30-minute long, like forever. Like it's just like, and they keep coming out like year after year after year. like no more. Just give me the game. I don't You've got our attention now. Just give us the game.
Do you think that at some point, like as hype level climbs up with every release of like a trailer, at some point hype level just goes down?
Yes.
Because
no. I've hit that point with I've hit that point with Death Stranding. Like it hit its high mark around the like second or third trailer, and now what? We're on like the 5th or 6th like 30-minute long trailer, and I'm like I can't like
no more trailers.
Just give me the game. You had my attention.
I feel like this could be a bit that Jerry Seinfeld did if he was like a gamer. Like, no more trailers. We've had enough trailers. Okay, whatever.
What's the deal with
trailers? Death Stranding trailer.
Death Stranding trailer. Come on, Kojima. Give us the game already.
Yeah. That sounds good.
That's my Jerry Seinfeld.
That's good.
I try. My number 4. My number 4 is a game I was like really, really hyped for. Now I'm just kind of like Death Stranding. I'm just curious to see what this game is going to be. And that is Bloodstained. Because this is the game that fuck me in the ass. What's that guy's name? Sorry.
Who's forgetting stuff now? And throwing out gay innuendos.
I remember the title of my game. I'm trying to remember
If you
the
give me the title, I might be able to give you whatever you're looking
director.
for. Except
It's
for the
Bloodstained.
ass thing. I don't want to do that.
Bloodstained, and by the way, I'm talking about Bloodstained. Ritual
Oh
of the
God,
Night.
why are you bloodstained? Oh, come on, man.
Koji Igarashi is the guy I'm trying to think of.
Okay.
Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. By the way, Bloodstained Curse of the Moon came out earlier last year. That was a Castlevania 3 style platformer. Bloodstained Ritual of the Night is like the main game, and Curse of the Moon was like, I think, a stretch goal on the Kickstarter for Ritual of the Night. Anyway, this is the like follow up to all of the like great Castlevania games that we had by Koji Igarashi, who's kind of like the main creative lead behind all of the Castlevania, like the more exploration focused Castlevania games with Konami, starting with Castlevania Symphony of the Night, which used to be my favorite Metroidvania, but that's been usurped now by indie games like Hollow Knight, for example.
Right.
We've had just because there's been this huge gap ever since Konami decided they don't want to make good games anymore. There's been a huge gap in releases since the last, good, real Castlevania game and the last Metroid game. There's been no one to carry the torch for Metroidvanias, and a bunch of indie games have kind of like stepped in and usurped the throne, and then not just carried the torch. I would say they've usurped the throne of the great Metroidvanias. I for my money, Hollow Knight is the best Metroidvania that's out there right now. But also there was you got your Hollow Knight, you got your Axiom Verge, Ori and the Blind Forest, even The Messenger a little bit. Just a slew. Yeah, a slew. That was the least Metroidvania of any of the,
I know. I didn't play any of those other games, so that's not saying much for The Messenger.
But that's I'm excited to see now, because Bloodstained Ritual of the Night has been in development for so long. Is it going to reclaim the throne for the great Metroidvanias, or is like what? I'm just so curious to see what this game's going to be.
Yeah. We're number 4. My number 4 is Jump Force.
Oh, I figured that would be on your list.
Oh yeah, I'm very, very hyped about this one. For those of you who don't know, it is going to be the greatest fighting game ever created, with every single anime character from like what are they called? Like that type of anime that's like Dragon Ball Z or Bleach. It's like
Shonen Jump, yeah.
Shonen Jump or whatever. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So you got all these awesome characters that like. So here's the thing. I have guilty pleasure where honestly, oftentimes I buy these games. The like really stupid like Naruto fighting games that there's like 3 new ones every month, and like the Dragon Ball Z fighting games that other than like the most recent one that was actually really good.
Dragon Ball Fighters, yeah. You're talking about the Budokai games?
Yeah, Budokai games, the Naruto fighting games, whatever. All these games are trash. I buy them all.
But you love them, yeah. You love the cheese.
I go in and I secretly purchase them, and then I play them, and I don't tell. I log off so nobody sees me playing them. And I love these games. So Jump Force is actually hopefully a good one, that you can be proud to play. It just looks crazy, looks cool, looks high intense visuals and all your favorite characters and stuff. I'm really pumped about it.
Nice. My number 3 game I am hyped for in 2019 is Psychonauts 2, which I believe is recently got confirmed for a 2019 release date. Okay. This has been a massive gap between the original Psychonauts, which came out in Google says Psychonauts.
Oh, geez, looking it up.
Sorry. The magic of editing will make this seem like I knew exactly what I was talking about. The original Psychonauts came out in 2005, so we've had like an almost 15-year gap between Psychonauts 1 and 2.
I didn't realize how it's that long ago.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. Psychonauts was, famously did not commercially sell very well at all, but it had a big cult following and eventually enabled the development of Psychonauts 2 to commence, which this game has also been in development supposedly for a long time. I know there's a bunch of funding issues and whatever with Psychonauts 2, but yeah, I am. This is another one where I'm just excited to see, like, what is this? What is this game going to be? 3D platform game design has come a long way in 15 years, and I would argue the strengths of Psychonauts 1 were probably its writing and comedy that it delivered, and not necessarily the platforming. The platforming was a little bit janky in the first Psychonauts, so I'm excited to see what, if anything, we've learned in the last 15 years. So yeah, Psychonauts 2.
Yeah.
I'm hype.
Cool. My number 3 is another fighting game. And you alluded to my love of this series in our which one of our episodes. I don't remember which one.
Sure.
This series is called Dead or Alive.
That is not what I thought it was. Yeah, okay. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to talk about Mortal Kombat 11.
I'm Mortal Kombat.
Dead or Alive.
Dead or Alive, man. It is it's probably, aside from Smash Brothers, the fighting game I've spent like the most hours on was like DOA 4 and DOA 5 a little bit. So DOA 6 is coming out.
Yeah.
Real soon.
What are your thoughts on what you've seen from DOA 6?
Yeah.
This is a game you're supposed to be hyped for.
I mean, I'm hyped. I'm hyped because I'm a DOA fan, and I know I'm gonna get it opening night. I'm gonna be on there,
right?
Playing with everybody. I'm hyped about it. But it does seem like something, like, I don't know. Like, I was, so far from what I've seen, I'm hesitant to give like a solid 2 thumbs up on, like, this is gonna be a great game. Just because, like, I don't know, I was expecting a little more from it. We'll wait and see. Maybe we'll even talk about it. Maybe I can convince you to get it and give our opinion after actually playing.
Yeah, sure. I know one of the big design goals with DOA 6 was, because I think when a lot of people think of Dead or Alive, they think of ass and titties.
Yes, that's part of it. Sure.
And I think one of the design goals with DOA 6 was to tone that down a little bit, because they want to be, quote unquote, taken a little more seriously as like a real fighting game. Which if you consider esports to be a real big thing with advertisers and sponsors, that's kind of a problem if you have big titties and ass hanging out all the time.
For some, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for advertisers and sponsors, yeah, definitely, that's a problem.
You get sponsored by Pornhub and you're fine,
Sure.
They got a lot of money,
but that's not the direction they chose to go with DOA 6.
Right. I mean, my hesitation, to be clear, has nothing to do with the fact that there's less tits and ass.
What is your hesitation? I thought that's what you were referring to.
It's more in terms of wanting to see the next evolution of the game, just in terms of just the way it looks and the choreography, I guess. It just looks like a little bit too close to what they have all been already. I wanted to see a little bit more of an evolution. That's all.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I guess it's a good thing for most people that there's less, boobs and butts.
Sure. I guess.
I mean, I guess. Yeah. But, they'll come out. They're going to come out with like a Dead or Alive beach edition, and that's when they're going to just,
of course,
unleash the tits.
All over the game. Unleash the tits. My number 2 is a sequel to one of my all-time favorite indie games. This is a game on my top 5 games I'm excited for 2019 that I will almost undoubtedly play the shit out of and will probably fall in love with, like, more certainly than any of the other games on my list that I'm a little more unsure of what the final game is going to look like. This is probably a slam dunk. Like, I'm gonna play the shit out of Spelunky 2 when this comes out.
Sure.
Oh my god, give me more Spelunky.
Really?
God, yes. I'm a big Spelunky guy. I loved the just tough as nails, one hit kill,
Yeah.
and original Spelunky. I love the the idea of randomized levels.
Yeah,
So it's
that's
not
really nice.
yeah, that was like one of the first I don't know, high profile roguelike platformers where it was it was less about memorizing the platforming levels and more about reacting to the different level layouts you get through the randomizer and hoping that you get a good assortment of items in the shop and whatever.
Yeah,
Like that
yeah,
was
yeah.
very fun, and also I enjoy playing that game multiplayer.
Yeah, we
I
did
like the.
play some multiplayer, I think you and I. Yeah.
Hmm.
I think when it comes to platformers, I'm not a huge fan, but definitely the random map generation
Hmm.
helps it cater more to my preference. I think just because like I don't like that part of platforming where you have to like just memorize the exact pixel you have to jump from. Like you have to go through that process of like, oh, I have to do a short jump here and then do an exact pixel jump here for a long jump. Like and then he had to like
Sure.
retry, So
Hmm.
so yeah, so that yeah, Spelunky for that reason I think is a little bit more enjoyable for me.
What's your number two?
Oh, Ghost of Toshiba.
Ah, I figured.
That's an incorrect name. I don't know if you caught that.
Well, what's it actually called?
It's Ghost of Tsushimi or something.
The Ghosts of Sashimi. Uh huh.
Ghost of Sushi. Ghost of
The Ghosts of Sushi.
Ghost of Toyota. I don't.
Did you not look up your game names before we started this?
You know the game I'm talking about when I
Oh,
said
I know
Ghost
the
of.
games.
I said Ghost of Toshiba, and you said, "Yeah, that's the game." Okay.
What? Okay, because that was close. Your first attempt was at least close.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, we might as well call it Ghost of Toshiba. What else is it
well,
called? I
it's
mean,
Tsushima.
okay, so there you go. Ghost of Toshiba. That's fine.
Tell me about the Ghosts of Sushi.
Uh, Ghost of Sushi. Okay, so going back to your conversation about how much I love samurai games and how you'd expect every samurai game or a game with a samurai in it to be my favorite game ever, which we're usually
Mhm.
wrong about. This game, I'm very interested in
Mhm.
because from what I've seen, it's a lot more, I guess, grounded in authenticity when it came to the historical representation of samurai and stuff. So this
It
guy doesn't.
is?
It's from what I've seen of actual gameplay footage. Now,
Okay.
originally when I saw it, I saw just like a super tease trailer kind of thing. It was like barely any like actual gameplay footage, and then it cut to like a montage of a bunch of different clips, and then he's kind of dressed in at the end in this uh, you know weeb ninja outfit. Like it's like super stupid looking. It's terrible looking. And so when I originally saw that, I thought, oh, this game is going to be garbage. It's going to be super weeby and just like, yeah, I'm a ninja. I don't like that stuff, right? Um,
Uh-huh.
but then I saw the more recent E3 trailer where they actually went through a scene early on in the game, I guess, and you're basically riding on horseback. You get down, you use this longbow thing like a samurai back then used to do, which not a lot of games talk about, and it's kind of a stealth sort of a thing, which you have to have some suspension of disbelief, and like you're using these grappling hooks, which they did traditionally have, but of course in the game they're a little bit it's like too good. He's like Batman swinging around in a dojo, but then like the swordplay it just seemed a little bit more grounded in realism, and there wasn't like some crazy like magic usage or anything like that. So it it might be where the as the game continues, he gets like, oh, now you can start flamethrowers out of your wrists or whatever, and it totally falls apart. But from that initial gameplay demo, I felt like, okay, this is going to be like I'm just a dude with a sword and a couple of gadgets, and I'm a samurai, and that sounds awesome.
Okay. All right. I feel that. My number one most anticipated game is the game I'm most excited for in 2019 is
Yeah.
Metroid Prime 4. Give
Oh,
it to me. I want it so bad.
when is that supposed to come
Um,
out this year?
Now, Nintendo has not confirmed a release date for this. I am
Uh,
eagerly awaiting the next Nintendo Direct, where they will hopefully confirm the release date. Now, however, there has been some, rumors, or there's been a leak that the release date could possibly be at the end of November this year, which, that's a long way off, but I will eagerly look forward to it. It's been a while. I want some more Metroid. Yeah, give it to me.
Yeah, do it. Is that game more akin to like now? Like I don't play any of the Metroids, in full disclosure.
Get the fuck out of it! Why not?
I've played like maybe a few seconds of a couple of them, but I know they came from more of like a Castlevania-esque platforming 2D space to like more of like a 3D, like on the Wii and stuff. So is it more like that now, or?
Okay, so to understand the pedigree of this game, the original Metroid was like you said, a little more of a straight up platformer. Now the unique thing about that game is it dabbled in like a little bit of backtracking, and it was a platformer where you weren't necessarily always moving from left to right, and there was no like levels in the way you think of them in like Super Mario or even the early Castlevania games. This was a persistent world that you were always just in the world,
Okay, yeah. I think I recognize what you're talking about.
Now, when we got to Super Metroid, that was the Super Nintendo one. This is I think, one of the true great Metroidvanias. This really, really refined and understood how to make that kind of level design really interesting, and really encouraged your exploration, and just really made a great atmosphere, just made all of the different zones really unique and interesting to explore and traverse. Now, the Metroid Prime game started on the GameCube. They tried to translate, they did arguably pretty successfully, try to translate the feeling of being in that persistent world in Super Metroid, and tried to translate that to 3D space. So you have a lot of the backtracking and,
it sounds boring
whatever.
to me. Like I don't know.
You should play one, or you should play Hollow Knight, which I think is now my favorite. But the Metroid Prime games are really, really good. It's oh god, I don't know. Just go play it. It's good. Okay. I'm
sure we'll have an episode on some Metroid games
or some Castlevania. We're gonna get We're gonna get Bloodstained coming up soon too.
You know what I'd like to do? I would like to get listen to all of our episodes and get clips of you saying Metroidvania, and then mash them all together. Yeah,
Metroidvania.
You say Metroidvania. You love these games, man.
I do. I am a big Metroidvania fan.
Hey, to each their own.
Yeah.
My number one.
What are you looking forward to most? I have no idea what this is, actually.
Oh, you totally... What? What?
Well, I don't know. I don't know what this is.
How do you not know what this is? You totally know what this is. You're going to kick yourself.
Okay.
Announced August 27th, 2019.
Yeah.
Although nobody really believes them.
Right.
Is...
Yeah.
Shenmue 3.
Is that supposed to come out this year?
Yes.
What?
Initial release date August 27th, 2019.
Are you shitting me? All right.
I shit you not, sir. You not.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
That is supposed to come out this year.
Yeah.
That shit's getting so delayed.
I know.
There's no way. There's no way. Out of any of the games we just talked about, that has the highest probability to get pushed. That's the most likely to get pushed back to 2010 or beyond.
Yes. 2020. Yeah, for sure.
Or 2010 get pushed into the past. 2020. You know what
it should have come out in 2010. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, you're right.
No, you're right. I'm realistically, I'm very naive about the release date. But nonetheless, that's what I'm most excited about. Well, we've talked about Shenmue a lot, and I know that you should go back and continue that game without a strategy guide and enjoy it.
You know, I might before
Yeah.
Shenmue 3 comes out.
Yes. Especially because, Shenmue 3, let me just explain something for people who don't realize this. Shenmue 3 was a phenomenon outside of just the gaming world. It was, for a while, the number 2 most backed Kickstarter thing.
Oh, it was the number 1 for a while.
It was the number 1 game. I'm confident of that. I don't know if it was the number 1 just thing.
Oh, gotcha. No, yeah, it was the number 1 game for a while.
But it was number 2 just biggest
ever.
Kickstarter ever.
Yeah.
For a while. That was, years ago that I checked that. So I don't know if it still holds true. But so this game was a phenomenon. It's going to be a phenomenon. So if you're going to play Shenmue 3, you got to understand where we are in the story and why people are so excited to continue the story, because it was left on a severe cliffhanger.
I could see that. We might have a Shenmue 2 and a Shenmue 3 episode of this podcast sometime this year.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. You want to endorse some stuff?
Yeah, I'm going to endorse. So I'll start because this just happened recently, actually. My wife's phone and my own, I guess, but more so hers, had been on the fritz lately.
Wow.
And she, it was like she would open up her Google Maps and Google just wouldn't know where she is, which is insane. How does Google not know where someone is?
Defeats the purpose of Google Maps.
Yeah, right? So she was having all sorts of problems, and battery issues and stuff on her iPhone. And then I had a cracked screen and some, slowness, but I didn't really care. But then Sunday, out of nowhere, I pulled out my phone from my pocket and it was flashing white and green the entire screen.
That's never good.
I couldn't see anything. Right, couldn't see anything.
That's never good.
I have warranty and stuff, but it always takes like $200 just to even get a phone replaced. So I went down to my local T-Mobile store.
Oh.
We had been thinking about making a switch to a different carrier. We were Verizon users. I think we talked to you about the pros of switching to like the Google Fi.
Yep, I am a happy Google Fi customer. Yep.
And I was intrigued. I contemplated that, but Taryn really wants an iPhone, and well, actually, for Christmas, someone gave me a Samsung Wi-Fi charger, and I was like, well, I should probably stick with Samsung, So anyway, for other various reasons too, we decided to go with T-Mobile. Here's the thing: I'm going to endorse waiting to make sure it's a good weekend and there's some good deals going on, but checking out if you are interested in switching carriers, you should really take a look at T-Mobile's incentives for switching on that weekend. I walked into T-Mobile and I knew some of these in the past, but I happened to go in on the final day of a deal going on. Basically, I walked out with $100 cheaper monthly payment plan with unlimited data, which I didn't even have. And then they threw on top of that, they're paying for my Netflix. T-Mobile's just paying for Netflix every month. And then, because I got a Samsung Galaxy, and I happened to walk in on the last day of this thing, they're sending me a free 50-inch 4K TV.
What?
Yeah, totally free.
What the hell?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. And on top of that, I only got the 2 lines, me and my wife's. They said the 3rd line was free, so why don't I go ahead and add that? So I have an extra line, which we might put like my mother-in-law on or something, to look good. Yeah. And then a free 4K TV and Netflix for life, all paid for by T-Mobile, and $100 cheaper bill. So
that's a hell of a switch you made there.
Yeah, dude. So if you're on Verizon, you should seriously consider my endorsement of moving to T-Mobile.
Yeah, damn. That sounds pretty sweet. I am going to endorse something else I bought for myself, which was I bought a large gaming table for specifically for like tabletop games, board games.
When did you get this?
I just got it a couple weeks ago. It is right after you were down to visit, I got it. It is a massive 4-foot by 6-foot table. It is,
that sounds big.
It is enormous. I I don't necessarily endorse the people I bought it from. The finished product is great. I love the table is fantastic. The craftsmanship on the table is fantastic. Their customer service has been dog shit. Their shipping timetables are bizarre. I can't get any information from them on when they're supposed to ship. Their instructions were terrible. We counted at least three. We counted and verified three straight up misprints in the instructions, like parts that were labeled wrong, or parts that were not included. Anyway, yeah, oof. I don't necessarily. I'm not even going to name the company because I don't want to endorse them at all. But what I do want to endorse is a game called Twilight Imperium, which requires an enormous table like the one I just assembled and constructed. It is a I described it to one of my friends who hadn't played it before. Is basically a 6-player Game of Thrones, the board game, but in space. It's a game of like diplomacy and politics and war that lasts, and I am not exaggerating, literally the whole day. So you need to book out an entire day and have 5 friends also do this. But it's a good time. You might hate one or more of your friends at the end of the day because, just like Game of Thrones, you might make some alliances and they might stab you in the back at the end of the day. But it's a very fun, interesting war game full of diplomacy and politics and backstabbing. If any of that sounds interesting, you should check out Twilight Imperium 4th Edition. It's a good game, but also know that it requires an absurd amount of table space. Huge table.
Personally, I believe that if a board game doesn't have a good amount of backstabbing in it, then it's not worth playing,
Right. Yep. Yeah.
Backstabbery is a very important part of game design.
It was a very good time. Yeah, and I think that's going to do it for this episode, right? Our 20th?
That was it. Our 20th episode.
Happy 20th, man.
Happy 20th. Happy 30th. Because I just turned 30. For those who don't know.
Right. Hey. Happy belated birthday. Hey, you know what? Next episode, we'll be old enough to drink.
Oh, right. Does that mean we should drink during the podcast?
We could definitely do that. However, I listened back to one of our previous episodes where I had a few before we recorded, and it was a little rough.
We should go back. But sure, we should get Drunk James back on the episode.
All right, stay tuned for our 21st episode where I think we're going to be talking about Catherine, right?
Yeah. Oh, that's a perfect game to talk about when you're drunk.
All right. We're going to be talking about Catherine on the next episode. So that's going to do it for us for the Good Games podcast. For Good Games with Leo and James, I'm James.
And I'm Leo.
And we'll see you next time.
See ya.
Goodbye.
How's it go again? It's really good.
I don't know. I don't remember.
Hold on. Here we go. It's like really good. Like I have to find it now.
All right. Googling. We got Googling riveting audio to listen to on Good Games with Leo and James.
Wait, the opening cutscene, like the techno-y song?
Like what? That? Wait, what?
Like that, or you just mean like the main title song?
Oh, well, the main title song, the ba 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 ba. That's very nice too.
Which one were you talking about?
I'm at the opening cinematic.
The techno song. It's like boom, 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 like that.
Yeah,
that's what it sounds like.
What? No, it's like an anime opening. What the hell? All right, now I gotta.
Dearly Beloved is what I was thinking about.
Yeah, Dearly Beloved is the very nice. That's the Yoko Shimomura. The ba 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 ba. Yeah.
It goes. Bum, 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 bum,
yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. That's
right. But that's not.